Lasertec 6920 Beginner's Guide. Imagine a Japanese company so specialized that it is the only firm in the world that builds a certain type of inspection machine, and that machine happens to be essential to making every cutting-edge chip in your phone, your laptop, and the data centers that run AI. That company is Lasertec. Today, we are going to walk through what they actually sell, who they compete with, and why the business has grown the way it has, all in plain English, no finance jargon left untranslated. This is for learning only, not investment advice. So, what does Lasertec actually do? In one sentence, Lasertec makes the inspection machines that check the templates used to print modern computer chips. Let me unpack that. Chips are made by shining light through a kind of stencil called a photomask onto a silicon wafer. For the most advanced chips, the ones used in AI processors and the latest smartphones, factories use a special kind of light called EUV, which stands for extreme ultraviolet. It is an incredibly short wavelength light that lets chip makers draw circuit lines just a few atoms wide. Before these EUV photomasks can be used in production, every single one has to be inspected for tiny defects because a flaw smaller than a virus on the mask would ruin every chip it prints. Lasertec builds the machines that do that inspection. The company really has one core business, with a handful of product lines inside it. Their flagship product family is called Matrix, which inspects finished EUV photomasks. They also sell a newer tool called Actus, with a model called A200 HIT that launched in October of last year and is driving their next wave of growth. On top of that, they sell systems that inspect the blink glass plates, called blinks, before they are turned into photomasks. About 64% of revenue last quarter came from selling these machines. Another 34% came from services, things like installing the tools at customer factories, maintaining them, and upgrading them over time. That service revenue is steady and predictable because it grows with every tool installed. The remaining 2% is small legacy products. Geographically, Korea is the biggest market at 28% of sales, followed by Taiwan at 23% and the US at 17%. That mix basically maps to where the world's largest chip factories are. So, who does Lasertec compete with, and how does it win? Here is the surprising answer. In their main business, they have no real competitor. Lasertec is what the industry calls a wide moat monopoly in EUV mask inspection. The technical term is actinic inspection, which just means the inspection tool uses the same EUV wavelength as the production process. No other commercial company makes a working actinic EUV inspection machine. Competitors have tried other approaches, using electron beams or using older deep ultraviolet light, but those methods cannot match the sensitivity of true EUV inspection. A moat, by the way, is just finance shorthand for a competitive advantage, the thing that keeps other companies from catching up. Lasertec's moat is built on a decade of research and development that nobody else committed to early enough. Their customer list reads like a who's who of the global chip industry: TSMC, Samsung Foundry, and Intel on the logic side, SK Hynix, Samsung Memory, Micron, and Kioxia on the memory side, plus AGC and Hoya, the two big mask blank suppliers in Japan. The top 6 to 8 customers together account for more than 85% of Lasertec's revenue. They have multi-decade engineering relationships with all of them. Intel has even given Lasertec its Epic Supplier Award 6 years in a row. That's Intel's recognition for top suppliers. Any new company trying to break in would face 5 to 10 years of research and customer qualification just to compete. That said, this concentration cuts both ways. If one big customer pauses spending, Lasertec feels it immediately, which is exactly what happened during the 2024 to 2025 industry slowdown. What are the key drivers for the business over the past 5 years? There are really 3 big stories. The first is the EUV monopoly itself, which was built quietly over the 2010s. While the rest of the chip equipment industry was focused on other things, Lasertec spent a decade developing actinic mask inspection. By the time EUV lithography finally went into high-volume manufacturing at TSMC's 7-nanometer node around 2018, followed by Samsung and then Intel. Lasertec was the only company that could supply the inspection tools those factories needed. They locked in multi-tool installations at every major foundry and memory maker, and that platform position is incredibly sticky. The second driver was the wave of EV adoption from 2020 through 2023. As every leading-edge fab raced to add EUV capacity, Lasertec's revenue and profits grew sharply. Their trailing 12-month operating profit, which just means profit from running the business over the last 4 quarters, climbed from about 30 billion yen in their fiscal 2020 to a peak above 120 billion yen in fiscal 2024. Then there was a correction in 2024 and 2025 as customers worked through excess equipment and the cycle cooled off. And the third driver, the current one, is the AI-driven recovery. The CEO has described AI demand as accelerating investment from both logic chip makers and memory makers. The new Actis A200 HIT tool is positioned to drive orders into fiscal 2027 and beyond. The order outlook was raised by 30 billion yen in their most recent quarter. And because the company is essentially a fabless equipment maker, meaning they outsource almost all the physical manufacturing and keep only design, R&D, and system integration in-house, their property and equipment is just about 2.4% of total assets, which lets them earn very high returns on the capital they do put in. To wrap up, Lasertec is a Japanese semiconductor equipment company with a global monopoly on one specific but essential machine, the inspection tool that checks EUV photo masks before they are used to print the world's most advanced chips. As a learner, the things to keep an eye on are simple. Watch how the rollout of the new Actis A200 HIT tool progresses, and watch the broader EUV order cycle from the big chip makers, because that is what ultimately drives this business. Again, this is for educational purposes only, not investment advice.